monitoring part 1. In this video I want to talk about monitoring in general and show you a few applications that I have been using for a while. As you can see on the screen now, it's my favorite application, PRTG. But we'll come back to it. I will show you 5, maybe 6 applications that I use. But to do that, we have to discuss what our options are. So the first thing I want to talk to you, if I find my pen, is Syslog. Okay, you can say it's a standard for logging. Okay, so let's say that's our network. We have a router, just a simple network, switch, and an access point. Okay, this router is connected to the internet. Okay, and let's say 11 AM Wednesday, everything goes down. It's, you have users connected, they cannot browse the internet, everything dies. Okay, so that is, sometimes we call it a P1 issue. Okay, so a panic mode, everything is down, we can't browse the internet. Okay, so let's say you sorted it out in 30 minutes. Okay, so what you did, let's say you rebooted this router. Of course it wasn't Cisco, because you will not sort out an issue by rebooting a Cisco router, just kidding. But let's say it took you 30 minutes. What's next? Well, your manager will ask you, what the hell happened? What did you do? And say, I didn't do anything, leave me alone. Okay, so what happened? And you say, I have no idea. How can I, I rebooted this thing and that's it. So what do you expect me to do? I can do some show commands and this interface is up, this is up, router is okay. So what do you want me to do? And that's a perfect example where a Syslog server could answer a question. What happened? Okay? Because all these devices, let me change the color here. So one of these links, there will be a Syslog server. Of course, in a perfect world where you will have more than one. So let's say this is a Syslog server. Okay, and all your network devices will send logs to, of course they will send it everywhere. Yeah? So this guy will send it down and so on. Okay, so what we mean by a Syslog message? Yeah, so everything that I'm pretty sure you've seen it before. Let me show you. That will make more sense in the RFC 5424, which defines Syslog levels. We have 7 main levels. Okay, so it all starts at level 7, and I'm pretty sure you have seen debugs before. So let's say you want to troubleshoot OSPF routing protocol. Okay, neighbors are down, you don't know what's going on. You can enable debugs and see what's wrong. Okay, and then of course we go down and we get to code 00, which is emergency. Okay, so it means system is unusable, everything is down, you can just go home. And of course a router will report everything. Interface is down, my fan has failed, and small things like, I don't know, let's say, oh, someone changed something in my running config. Okay, so that's not the highest priority because it's just a piece of information. Okay, so a router will report all these things, but if you don't have a Syslog server, most routers, switches, access points will keep X number of lines in a buffer. Okay, and if you don't save these messages, It all depends. In a big network, in 15 minutes they're gone, in 5 minutes, maybe in 3 hours. But when we go back to our scenario, okay, the problem is that you decided to reboot this router. And it means that all your log messages are gone. Okay, and I have seen that in the past. That's the main problem. When you have to reboot these devices, you don't really have time to troubleshoot. Why? Because this is a P1 issue. So it means it's the highest priority. Your main focus is make sure that John can browse the internet again and go to Facebook, because that's unbelievable. Yeah, you have to fix it. I have a router here. Let me just open it for you. Okay, that's my putty. A very simple message, a very simple Syslog message is going to be on your screen now, okay? So that is a Syslog message, okay? Oh, someone configured me from the console, okay? So that is a Syslog message, okay? That if you have a Syslog server, this message will be saved and you can look at it later on. It is really, really important to have a Syslog server in your company. Now, what can we use for a Syslog server? Well, Kiwi, that was a few years ago. They used to they offered a free version of their Syslog server. I think one of the best and really easy to set up. As far as I know, there is no free version of this application anymore, but you can still download the old one, and that's what I've got. That's why on my SBS 2008 server, and it's very easy to set up, reliable, and you can use it for free. Yeah, so that is really, really great. I use it in my lab, and it's really awesome and very, very easy to set up. If you Google old free Kiwi server, you should be able to find it. Okay, I will try and let me show it to you. The problem with, well, not the problem, but of course they, they will try and sell a product like that. So in a freeware version, they will not offer you all features. And one of the things that they decided not to offer is a web interface. Okay, so you can't really open this Syslog server from a web interface. What I did, I save all these logs in a TXT file. But another problem with this application is that in a free version, it will not divide this file for you. So I think now I will have to fix it, because this file is really big. Well, I will not even try to open it in Notepad because it will take 10 minutes. But I will try and open it in Microsoft Word or something, so bear with me. Here is my file and logs. I just decided to go for something that it's like 5 megabytes, so I could open it in a few seconds. The IP address of a device that reported that, of course, time zone, and there should be level as well if that's Cisco. And take a look. Here is that was a DOS attack. Okay, that's a good example. And then it says, oh, source IP address, destination IP address, we were under attack, UDP. Yeah, and then it should tell you what was done with it. So I'm pretty sure that was dropped. Okay, so let's scroll down and see if I can see any logs from a Cisco device. Should be ASA 10.10.10.1. Okay, so no, that's not good. check. Okay. Okay, I am opening another file for you so you can see some log messages from Cisco devices. Let's scroll down. Okay, so a log from my ASA saying, oh, that is intrusion detection. It says that ICMP echo request was recognized on my inside interface. Okay, and take a look here, and that's what I was talking about, severity levels. Okay, so that is recognized as level 4, and it says that my ASA decided to drop a message going from this going to that IP address coming from this. It's really important to have all these logs, okay, because in most cases that's not going to happen at 11 AM, okay, because your main focus is to sort it out. So probably that's Wednesday, so maybe on Friday or Monday you will have to sit down and spend 2 or 3 days analyzing all these logs and trying to figure out what happened, because if you don't, it can happen again. So that's the main problem. That's what you can do with a Syslog server. To set it up on a Cisco device, it's a piece of cake. I will show you that on my core. .5. All you need is this line. Then of course you can tweak it, you can decide what should be logged, and maybe there is something you want to exclude, include, you know, that's very flexible, but that's where it all starts. You have to tell a Cisco router or a Cisco switch, okay, please send all log messages to 172.16.1.2, and of course you can have more than one Syslog server, and it makes sense because if a Syslog server fails you want to have a backup, okay, and it's very similar on an HP switch as well. All these devices, it's very simple. All you have to do is, okay, send all my logs to 172.16.1.2. That's it. As long as this IP address has a Syslog server running, there's nothing else you have to do, which is really awesome. So that's Syslog. The next protocol I want to describe and show you is, oops, if I manage to, oops, yeah, it's working, is SNMP. And SNMP is, it's a protocol that, oops, that's not what I wanted. It's a protocol that I remember when I first saw it a few years ago, and I saw the name, okay, it says Simple Network Management Protocol, okay, that's what it says, and it is simple, but not simple to understand and to work with. It is simple in, in other ways, but it can take some time to set it up, okay? But the idea for SNMP is, well, we need something that will allow us to go to a router or to a switch and get some information. You have a router, okay? It's connected to your ISP, okay? And what you want to do, you know that your users, they love to browse the internet, okay? They will always do that. Yeah, browsing the internet is awesome. Yep. So what you want to do, you want to make sure that this link, yeah, let's say it's 10 megabits per second, it will not get to 9.65 megabits per second. And if it gets to that level, maybe you want to receive a text message or an email. Yeah. So what you want to do, you want to use SNMP and go to this router and say, dear router, can you tell me on your interface F01, is it close to 9 megabits per second? And the router says, nah, it's 5. I say, okay, fair enough. 30 seconds later, you go back and say, router, what about now? Well, it's 4.85. Yeah? 30 seconds later, you go back and say, what about now? Okay, and all these applications will create a nice graph. Okay, so you will see, say it's 5, this is 10. Yeah, so they will say, oh, it's here, and then you can see something like that, and you can see something like that. That's what you can do with SNMP. You can go to a device and ask questions. That is something that SNMP allows you to do. I think that's the name is get request. Okay, so it's get. Yeah, so you can ask questions. Okay, another thing that you can achieve with SNMP is traps, and traps is for your network device to tell you when something happens. So you can set up this router to send you a trap when this interface goes down, and the router says, oh, my interface is down, my interface is down. You don't want to wait 30 seconds, because let's say it was 30 seconds, interface was up. Then it's 1, 2, 3, interface goes down. SNMP, when you ask a question, it will not trigger that, it will just wait. Yeah, it is designed to ask a question every 30 seconds. So you want to see that straight away, and that's what you can do with traps. The problem with that is that you trust that this router will actually do that, and that is my main concern every time I see SNMP traps. That's why most companies and network engineers will never leave SNMP with traps only. Will always have this solution as well. We will go and ask a router, oh, dear router, is the interface up? Yes, it is. Is the interface up? Yes, it is. What is your CPU? Oh, utilization. Oh, it's 25%. You should not really trust that a trap will be generated, because it is very, very difficult to test it. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you never know if OSPF goes down. Okay, maybe this router will not be able to send a trap, yeah, message. So then, 30 seconds later, another SNMP sensor can go and ask your router, dear router, is OSPF up? And the router says, no, it's not. Okay, that's not good, and it can be flagged on your system and help you troubleshoot. Okay, so that's what you can do. Now, we've got 3 main versions of SNMP. It's 1, 2, and the latest one is 3, which added a lot of security solutions like authentication, encryption. Most companies still use version 2. I think it's 2C as far as I remember. It is based around a community string, so it is like a pre-shared key, okay, that you can use. It's not secure, but you can add an access list to it, and then it's much better. Well, not much better, but it's better. Of course, everybody says go to SNMP version 3, and that's what you should implement if you have an option. There is a question. How will an SNMP application know how to ask a question? Okay, so let's say we want to ask, dear router, is your OSPF neighbor up? How can we How can we ask a question like that? Okay, this is a simple network management protocol, so we cannot use show commands and anything like that. It has to be simple, and that's where OIDs come into our picture. This is an object, and every single thing that is on a router or on a switch, maybe not, probably every single one, has a unique number, okay, and it looks like that, and it makes no sense to you or to me. It makes a very good sense to a router, and of course you can search. Yeah, so let's look for OSPF. Let's just see. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, so we have this one, okay, and this object will tell us if OSPF is running on our router. You can set up an application. It can be on your Windows server, and this application every 30 seconds will go and check this ID and will ask a router, dear router, can you tell me what the value of this object is? Okay, and you will see that OSPF is up or down. Yeah, so that's how it works. It's not an easy process, and of course there are applications that can help you, and if you pay more money you will get a better application, of course. If you don't have enough money, then it will take you weeks, maybe months to set it up. Of course you should have a template or something that you could use. If you're going to do that for the first time, it can take a while if you don't have good tools. And even if you have tools, they're not going to do everything for you. They can help you, they can assist, but they will not map everything and create all topologies, SNMP, traps in 5 minutes, and you can forget and go home. Okay, it's not going to happen. But if you can invest some money, I'm talking about solutions by SolarWinds, HP, then it will make your life much easier. If you don't, then you will have to use a MIB browser. This is a tool. I like this one. It's a really nice one, and it's a freeware application. So you put an IP address, and then this tool will go to your device and create a list of objects on your device. Okay, so let's try .5. Let me just connect to it. So what you have to specify here is port. If you have not changed that, oh, that's my password, so let me put it here. I'm pretty sure I've shown you that password anyway, but you know, maybe you missed that. Okay, so and take a look. Okay, it will show me everything that this router has. Okay, so let's say sys uptime, and that is my object that I can paste into my application, and thanks to that I will see my sys uptime. That's not bad actually. Okay, you will see a lot of things related to interfaces, IP addresses, routing protocols. So you can do walk, and then it will try and go through all OIDs. In most cases it will time out, but that's okay. Let's just wait for this guy to finish, and I'll show you a few things here when I scroll down. It can take a while, but the good thing is that, let's say you have a Cisco 3560 switch. If you spend 2 or 3 days doing that, then you will create a template, and you can use that on all 3560s, and there is a big chance you will be able to use that on 3750s, 2950s, maybe not all options will be the same. They should be very similar. And if you create a template, of course, again, you can invest some money and some tools will help you with that. It will time out in a second. Let me see. I can scroll it anyway. Okay. So, let me see what we've got here. Okay, interfaces. Okay, I can see interfaces up or down. You have to be very careful with these numbers. Sometimes 14 is not 14. Sometimes they will start counting from 0 or something else. So you have to check that and make sure that it is 14 in the description. Okay, so but as you can see, you can check. And this is 1 is up, 2 is down. Okay, so that's what you can do using SNMP. And in the second video, I will show you a few tools that I use. Okay. Okay. Now the last one I want to talk about today is Netflow. Okay. So that's the last one. And I played with Netflow a few times, and it's a really nice protocol. Let me just move it here. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a reliable and good free Netflow application for Windows. So, and I don't really need that. But Netflow is a feature that will allow you to collect network traffic. And, well, let me just give you an example. Okay, so going back to our SNMP example, okay, do you remember when we said it's 10 megabits per second and you have 9.6? What will be the next question? Well, the next question will be, who the hell or what the hell is using that? And that's what Netflow can do. Okay, Netflow can see, oh, right, I can see HTTP 6 megabit going from to 10.10.7.8. Oh, that's Mike. What is Mike doing? Okay, so that's what you can achieve using Netflow. Okay, if you want to play with Netflow, you can download. There are a lot of applications. Most of them arrive with a 30-day trial version, so you can play with it. I couldn't find a good and reliable application for Windows that was for free. And actually, I don't need that because my firewall. Some firewalls will have a built-in tool like that. Of course, not Cisco. Come on. But some firewalls will have a tool like that, so I don't really need that. I think I tried it in PRTG. In the next video, where I'm going to show you all my tools, I will check if PRTG is still looking at Netflow. I remember I enabled that on my ASA firewall, but even Cisco, they say, oh, Netflow on ASA is not perfect, don't really use it. Well, and it's true, it wasn't reliable. I tried that 2 or 3 years ago. Maybe things have changed. I don't really need that, but it is something that you can use, and it can help you figure out what Mike is doing on his PC. Okay, a very important topics that we've covered today. Even though it's not the most exciting real-world examples, but we will do that in the second video. I show you applications that I have been using in the last 3 or 4 years, but make sure that you understand what Netflow, Syslog, SNMP. There are some other protocols that we don't really have time to talk about, but it would be good for you to read about, for instance, NTP as well. Okay, thank you.